Welcome back to Andersen Acres on this kind of gloomy, gross day, and look at how dirty this man is. Dirty, dirty, dirty. So dirty, my man. And today I just wanted to talk about the cost of a mini horse, because a couple of people have asked me, well, how much does it cost? And the answer is, that depends on what you're talking about. So if you're talking about how much does it cost to buy a mini horse, well, that varies. But let's talk for a minute about the real cost of a mini horse, or really any horse. So the initial purchase price is actually the cheap part. I'm getting the butt because he wants to eat that hay he dragged over there. So the initial purchase price is actually the cheap part. You also have to consider things like shelter, things like fencing, things like transporting him home. You either have to have a truck and trailer or you have to pay for transportation. You might have to think about training. If you can't train him yourself, you might have to pay someone to train him. Well, that costs money. Hi, buddy. Yeah, you're just a pretty boy. Tack. So either just your halters and your lead ropes, that costs money. And let's not forget the astronomical costs of farriers and vets. Okay? Now, farriers are not that bad, especially here. Farriers are fairly inexpensive. I mean, you have to see them several times a year, so it adds up, but it's really the vet costs that kill you. So you really do have to think about all these things. In Shadowfax's first 8 months with us, he cost me 3 times what his purchase price was in vet fees. Okay, now, to be fair, he was really skinny. He had lice. He had terrible feet. It was bad. So we had to do a whole lot just to get him up to snuff. So he ended up costing me, $1,600 or $1,800. I'd have to go back and look, but either $1,600 or $1,800 in the first 8 months for vet care and farrier, because farrier had to come a lot, because his feet were really bad. They're pretty good now, but they were bad. So he cost me about $1,600 or $1,800 in the first few months. Now, he cost less than $500 to buy. So the real cost of a horse isn't the purchase price. So as for actual purchase prices, they range. Again, you might get something like less than $500 like Shadowfax was. If you're looking at a rescue, or if you go to an auction, you could get a pretty good price. You could also pay like $15,000 or even a little more for a miniature, depending on their lineage and their training and what you're looking for. So there's a huge range. How much you pay for your mini horse isn't really the thing. That's not the thing that's going to kill you. But let's talk about the actual price of the mini horse for a second. You may not want to go with the cheapest. Hi, buddy. Smooches. So you might not want to go with the cheapest mini horse out there, because probably the cheapest mini horse out there is also going to require the most amount of work in regards to farrier, vet, and training. Okay? So what you might want to do is consider spending a little bit more so that you can get something that's a little healthier. Okay? The most expensive mini horses are probably overkill for a beginner, unless you are specifically looking to get into showing or driving and you actually want to compete. Otherwise, the most expensive mini horses, don't even look. You can find something that meets your requirements and is sweet and perfect for you at much less than the top-end horses. Okay? Remember that horses are often priced emotionally, and we often buy them emotionally, because we're willing to pay for the mini that we want. Look at this. Look at how dirty he is. You're so dirty. Hi, Arwen. So, if your budget can support it, then fine, spend the money. But if your budget can't, think about that before you overspend. Stay within your budget. So, figure out what your budget is. Figure out what your budget is and how much over you can go. You might end up going a little over your budget. So kind of figure that out. Try and stay within your budget if you can. It's very windy today, Shadowfax. It's very windy. Smooches, thank you. Good boy. So typically horses from a reputable breeder is a better investment. Okay? They are more sound than a lot of what you'll find at the auction mart or at a rescue. They have a little bit better training, things like that. But the auction or rescue route can really make you feel good. Okay, that's what I like. I like to rescue. It makes me feel good. If you're looking for a winner, so you want to show, you want to drive, then you probably want to go with a breeder. It could be difficult finding what you want at an auction or a rescue. So if you are looking to compete, you probably want to go with a breeder because, one, you're going to need registration, but two, you're just more likely to get what you're looking for. Bloodlines alone don't guarantee success, though. Training is the biggest indicator. So even if you get the perfect bloodline, if you're not willing to do the training or you're not willing to hire a trainer, then you're not going to get what you want out of it. So be prepared to put the money into it if you're going to show or anything like, or compete or anything like that. If you just want a pet, that's not really a consideration. You just want a well-mannered little guy. The final thing I want to mention is breeder versus rescue. Don't let anybody shame you one way or the other, because you need to get the mini horse that is right for you. Now, he is considered a rescue. Okay, we had to do a lot of work with him and so on and so forth. But look at how dirty he is. Look at this. Why are you so dirty? Why are you so dirty? Anyway, so he's considered a rescue. I am a big proponent of rescuing, but I also acknowledge that sometimes what you're looking for, you're only going to find it at a breeder. So yes, well, I think we should all rescue if we can, or if that meets our needs matter too. So if what you're looking for is not going to come from a rescue or an auction, then absolutely get yourself on a list with a breeder and get what you want that way. Because if you get an animal that isn't capable of doing what you want it to do, so you get a miniature horse that is not registered, right? He is not registered, and therefore you can't show him, you're not going to be happy. Can you go follow me? Come on, buddy. Good boy. He's a good boy, Smooches. Oh, yeah. So don't let anybody tell you that you cannot get a breeder pony. You may need to get what you want out of them. So regardless of where you get your pony, as long as they're in good health and you're happy with them, rid of that, sorry, just throwing a thing out of the fence. As long as you're happy with them and they meet your needs and you're meeting their needs, then it's a match made in heaven. If you're happy and you love them and they love you, that's really all that matters. So don't let someone shame you for going to a breeder because they think you should go to a rescue. And don't let people shame you for going to a rescue because they think you could have done better if you went to a breeder. I've seen both happen. So get the mini horse that works for you and get him in the way that works for you. As long as the breeder is ethical and the rescue is also ethical, because not all rescues are ethical, just go with what you need, because what you need matters, and both you and your mini horse will lead a more fulfilling life if that horse meets your needs. You'll be more capable of meeting his if you're happy with them. So that's about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. Good luck in your pony search. We'll see you tomorrow.